All right, guys, so I'll show you how these mountain horses are bridled typically. All right, so this is a hackamore, and what a hackamore is it's a bridle without a bit, okay? These are pretty common on mountain horses, and the reason being is generally a lot of different types of people are riding those horses over time, and a horse is gonna be a lot more sensitive to a bit. And so a lot of outfitters and guides will put hackamores on their gentle horses because you can still control them as a hunter, but you're not going to over control them, right, with that bit and always be putting a lot of pressure on them, okay? So this is a hackamore, and it's the most common setup that we use, and I think it's probably the most common setup that most mountain guys use, okay? So you'll see nothing goes in the horse's mouth. You know, if your guide is bridling your horse for the first time and you see that he's putting a bit in the horse's mouth, it's not necessarily, you know, a bad thing. It's just a different style. Okay, so then they're gonna have a little throat latch that goes on here. And this is another thing just for you to be conscientious as a hunter. Sometimes these throat latches, depending on what kind of buckle mechanism they have, sometimes they'll come loose. If you see these two things dangling while you're riding, like these two straps dangling, just tell your guide and he can stop and make sure they get latched up, okay? All right, so that's your bridle. And then generally what you're gonna find, different outfitters have different opinions on this, but they're gonna leave the lead rope on. Some guys you will see will dally the lead rope like this. They'll do a clove hitch on the saddle horn. I personally don't like this. If it were the case that the horse were to get his leg over here, super dangerous, and it's a pretty solid form of entrapment for the horse, okay? So I don't particularly like that. If there's rubber on the horn, sometimes I'll fold it over and go like this in the rubber, so it's just like this, so I can grab it and pull it off, okay? But the most common way that I like to do it is I like to do a wrap up here high on the horse's neck, okay? It's not gonna fall down there where he can get his foot in the loop or anything like that, okay? It takes horses a little bit of time to get used to it, so that's sometimes I think why outfitters don't do this, but it's my preferred method. And the tail end of the rope is always down, so gravity's helping me out, okay, on the trail. And so I like the lead rope to be up like this. It's nice and tidy. And the other thing, if something were to happen, like, you know, I get the hunter off, he takes a shot and the horse is trot off a little bit or whatever, I can get on my horse and I can trot up to this horse, and while I'm mounted, I can grab the horse here, okay? And I have a lot of control of the horse if I've got that lead rope around there, okay? You're gonna see a little variation on that. I wouldn't take offense if guys do it different than I do. And if you say they're doing it wrong, they're almost surely gonna take offense. So just realize there's multiple ways to do it. But anyways, that lead rope's there. When you do get off, Jimmy probably mentioned this in the gear part of it, but when you get off and you dismount and you've got this lead rope here, don't ever tie your horse up with these reins. They're not meant to be tied up by them, and those reins will break really easily, okay? So you can lead your horse and you can tie your horse up by the lead rope. That's the purpose of it, okay?